Hi, my name is Jess and I'm a prep teacher here at West End State School. I'm here today with another one of our prep teachers, Charlotte Boyd, who is also a speech pathologist. Today, Charlotte is going to be speaking with us about children's language development. Firstly, Charlotte, what is language?
Well, it's a great question, Jess, because there is often some confusion around what language actually refers to. The language is different to speech. In the last video, I explained how speech refers to the sounds we use when we talk. Language, on the other hand, is not how a child says sounds, but what they are actually saying. So language is the exchange of meaning for a child. Language can be broken down into two main areas: receptive language and expressive language. So receptive language is the ability to understand language. This includes being able to understand what words mean, understand information that is spoken to them, and being able to understand and follow instructions. For example, in the classroom, if the teacher says, "Before you put your reading book in your bag, please get out your writing book." If the child doesn't understand the language concepts of before and after, they will have trouble following those instructions. Now, expressive language, on the other hand, is our production of language. This includes being able to name things using our vocabulary, talking in sentences, telling stories, and answering questions. We need expressive language to communicate our ideas and needs with others verbally.
So, what does typical language development look like?
So I'll touch on what typical language development in the early years looks like. So on this slide are the language skills you should be seeing in a 4 to 5-year-old, so about a prep year level. I've included some receptive and expressive language skills in the list. Now, it is important to note that these milestones apply only to monolingual English-speaking children who only hear and speak English. Children with multiple languages will develop their language skills differently, and this is also typical. So at about 4 to 5 years of age, for a child that only speaks English, they should be understanding most of our WH questions. So those questions that start with the WH, so who, what, where, when. And they should be using words such as and, but, and because to make longer sentences. They should be learning to describe recent events, such as what they did in the morning or on the weekend, and they will be asking lots of questions. Their grammar skills should also be developing. So for example, they should be able to use what we call personal pronouns, so words like he and she in their sentences.
So, why is it important that children have these language skills?
So oral language skills, the skills that I've just spoken about, those receptive and expressive language skills, are so important for success at school and success in life. There are lots of reasons why children need oral language. For example, children need oral language to communicate with their friends and build those social relationships, to tell you what they need and how they feel, and to share their experiences and ideas. They also need oral language skills to follow directions at home and in class, and to complete tasks in the classroom. So oral language is the foundation for developing reading and writing skills. And what this means is that children need to have oral language skills in order to learn to read and write. So for example, children need to be able to say a sentence out loud before they will be able to write it. If a child can't say the sentence out loud, they will not be able to write it. So because oral language is important for reading and writing, it makes sense that there is a strong link between oral language and overall success at school. If children have strong oral language skills, they are more likely to develop strong reading and writing skills, which will allow them to succeed at school. So you can see that our oral language skills are really important for success at school and in life.
And do you have any suggestions for parents at home to support their child's language development?
Yes, Jess, great question. So there are lots of ways that parents can support their child's language development at home. Reading books with your child enhances their language and their literacy development, and it also improves their vocabulary and their understanding. Reading to children is the best way to expose them to a wide range of environments and vocabulary. Often, children can learn about things in books that they haven't experienced in real life. Books are a great platform for building up your child's language. So you can talk about the book and all of the pictures. You can ask your child a range of questions. You can make comments about the book, and you can do little activities such as sorting and naming. So for example, if you're reading about a fish, you might say, what other animals live in the sea? Reading is also a great opportunity to expose your children to what we call pre-reading skills or early literacy skills. So you can talk about rhyming words in the book, you can count the beats or the syllables in words, and you can talk about what the first or the last sounds in words are. So I recommend that you view the Shared Book Reading Parent Academy video that will be uploaded shortly for an example of book reading and some tips for home. And so spending time just talking with your child every day is another great opportunity for parents to support their child's language development. So this can be done during everyday activities, such as going to the shops, while cooking, maybe during bath time and bedtime routines, while playing games and while playing outside. And you can use any activity to model language to your child, no matter how dull it may seem. So for example, if you were gardening, you could talk about describing words such as dirty, wet, muddy. You can talk about how plants need things to grow and things that might hurt plants. And you could make some predictions and talk about what you think the plant will look like when it grows. You could also be playing guessing games in the car, such as describing, I'm thinking of an animal, it's grey with sharp teeth, it lives in the ocean, it starts with a shh sound. Fun games like that are really promoting your child's language development. Now, spend time just talking with your child. So research shows that children's communication and their language skills improve when parents interact more with their child, when they're responding to what their child is attempting to communicate. When they emphasize important words in a sentence, you could say, oh, these muffins taste delightful, emphasizing that word delightful. And research also shows that children's communication and language skills improve when parents expand on what a child has said. So for example, if your child said, oh, I see a big dog, you can expand on that by repeating what your child has said and adding one or two extra words. So you might say, yes, it's a big spotted black and white dog. I can see the dog too. Even just playing with your child can support their language development. Play has positive effects on all areas of child development, including their cognition, reasoning, their abstract thinking skills, and social skills. And it also builds communication skills, self-esteem, and confidence. And parents can also support their child's language development at home through craft activities, building, cooking, and other hands-on tasks. So these types of activities help to build children's language skills, including their ability to follow instructions, explain and describe what they're doing, request help, sequence steps appropriately, understand and use new vocabulary, and to make predictions. So to recap, Jess, on what we've looked at today, we know that language and speech are different. Speech refers to the sounds we use when we talk. Language, on the other hand, refers to what is actually being said. Language can be broken down into receptive language, or a child's ability to understand language, and expressive language, which is a child's production of language. Children really need oral language skills to communicate their thoughts and feelings and their needs, and to develop social relationships. Now, we also know that oral language is the foundation for developing reading and writing skills. Children with strong oral language skills are more likely to develop strong reading and writing skills, which will allow them to succeed at school. And there are lots of ways that parents can support their child's language development at home, including reading books, spending time talking with their child, playing with their child, and through craft activities, cooking, and other hands-on tasks.
Wow, thank you so much for that information, Charlotte. Join us next time as we look at the language skills of children that speak more than one language.
Bye.
Bye.